Every day that goes by, we are getting one step closer to a new Warzone map, and it cannot come soon enough. I don't know about you guys, but Warzone has been getting really stale for me as of lately, and so has Black Ops Cold War. I'm just really not invested into it as much as I was with Modern Warfare during the height of that life cycle, but hopefully with this new Warzone map on the horizon, that changes things for everyone, and I'm sure I'm not the only one feeling this. Got some new details for everyone on this new Warzone map, but before we jump into that, make sure you guys drop a like on this video, and also be sure to tap that subscribe button if you haven't already. Still, at over 95% of you who watch my videos aren't subscribed, so it'd mean a lot if you could drop a sub and hit a like on this video. But enough of that, though. Let's get straight into what you came here to hear about, and that was this new Warzone map. So let's bring you up to speed first on what exactly is happening with Warzone and where we're at right now in its life cycle. So March of 2020 will be the 1 year anniversary, or coming up in this next March will be the 1 year anniversary since Warzone was released within Modern Warfare. It's really now, though, essentially its own standalone game within the Call of Duty universe, but it really is still heavily tied into obviously the Modern Warfare and Black Ops Cold War universes, with the operators and weapons crossing over obviously into Warzone now. With Season 1 obviously in Black Ops Cold War, we got Rebirth Island, and then we got the integration of the Black Ops Cold War weaponry and arsenal into the Warzone game. That was the first really large content update that we got with Warzone in terms of new playable areas. We obviously had some small minor changes and additions to the Verdansk map, but Rebirth Island was added, and that was a great breath of fresh air to the Warzone mode. Now, don't get me wrong, there was a ton of people out there who really enjoyed Rebirth Island, but it's already coming to a point now where people are already ready to move on. And don't get me wrong, the Resurgence game mode, it was super fun. It was a great refresher to those people who were sick of Verdansk, but we're almost at the end of Season 1 now, and it's already getting old in my opinion. A lot of people might disagree with that and love it and can play it all day, but again, there's a lot of people out there who would say the opposite about it. So, but that brings us to here we are, or where we're at right now, talking about the next step in Warzone's life cycle, and that's clearly set up to be a brand new large-scale Warzone map, something similar to Verdansk in size, and something that is a whole new brand new breath of fresh air in terms of Warzone content. Now, previously I made a video going over the Ural Mountains being the backdrop essentially of what the next Warzone map would be and its large-scale setting. Now, with the recent addition of the new map Sanatorium, we're essentially even now more convinced than ever that what we've previously been thinking about the Ural Mountains and the Ural Plains being the backdrop of the map, it's essentially becoming a reality right in front of us, and there's a lot of reasons to confirm and make us believe that we are correct in that thinking. So first off is the Fireteam game mode. Like I've mentioned before, it's essentially the exact same Warzone mechanics, but in the Black Ops engine essentially. So we have the same armor plates, we have the dropping from a chopper plane, we have doors. It's essentially all the same mechanics as we are playing in Warzone. So we're really dumb to think that this is not some sort of, clear copycat trial version in a sense, or testing these maps to play in Warzone. I think that's exactly what they're doing, and I think it's pretty smart in all reality. Now, when we look at the Fireteam maps, we have 3 maps so far, including the new Sanatorium map. The first one is Alpine, which is a snow-based map based around a ski resort. Next is Ruka, which is a forest-based map. And then lastly is the new map Sanatorium, which is the first water-based Fireteam map, or I shouldn't say water-based, but it has water in it that allows you to swim, and the new swimming mechanic is added into the mix on this Fireteam map. Now, since the last video I made, there has been a somewhat compilation of the leak that came out earlier in regards to what the actual layout of this new Warzone map is, and that's what you're seeing on the screen now. Now, as you can see on the map, there is some basis of maps that are previously already in Black Ops Cold War. Obviously, the Fireteam maps, as you're seeing, with Sanatorium, Ruka, and Alpine. Now, these 3 make up the essential pillars of what this map looks like to be, and the layout makes perfect sense in all honesty. Obviously, there's the ski slopes and a snow portion of the map in the bottom right corner. There's Sanatorium based around this large pond or lake or whatever you want to call it, with the water portion of the map, and then Ruka in the middle around this zoo location. But let's look at those non-Fireteam based portions of this map. First one you see in the middle here is zoo. Now, the first question that comes to my mind, and a lot of other people's mind, they're thinking the exact same thing, is this zoo location or zoo portion of the map the same location or map as the original Black Ops multiplayer map, Zoo? Now, the same thing come across my mind as well when we look over at Battery. Battery was a multiplayer map in World at War, obviously the original Treyarch game. But then that's really really all we know in terms of maps that are similar or have any meaning in terms of what the items are listed on this map. Now we look up to Golova, or if that's however you pronounce it, and the first time we've seen that was actually just recently with this update of the sanatorium being added into the game. Now in a new weekly briefing posted by Call of Duty on their blog, they state, "Get ready for a massive new arena when your squad drops into Sanatorium, a low wooded hills area where your team will unearth the Cladstein secrets of Project Golova. Jump into a fleet of land, sea, and air vehicles and take the fight to the enemy in this sprawling new map." Now, the secrets of Project Golova is what interests us here, as this is obviously the same language or name or term that's used in this map description that's connecting all the dots and locations of this new Warzone map, so that's interesting. Now, it makes you wonder as well, obviously with Verdansk we had the rocket and these bunkers being the centerpiece of kind of what the theme of this map was, and everyone trying to, get into those bunkers and everything. Now this Project Golova seems to be a piece of interest in terms of what maybe the centerpiece of this themed map might be in terms of this secret project or whatever they're talking about or referring to in this blog. Obviously that's something to keep in mind as we obviously get more information about what is going on with this map. Now moving over to Duga, this may look familiar obviously from those who have played the Black Ops Cold War campaign, as well as the map grid or the multiplayer map grid from the original Black Ops game. It's based on a real world location in Ukraine, and this essentially large wall is now, was a satellite. That's what it was used for by the Soviets, and that's why it looks kind of funny. It's a really cool setting, and I would really be happy to see this implemented into this new Warzone map. I think it would make a really cool backdrop, and I'm really hoping that that's the case. Now, when we move over to the right side of the map in terms of this mines, chemical labs, swamps, and weather station, these are all terms that are very broad, obviously, and do not reference any specific terms that exist in the Call of Duty universe that I'm aware of. Now, it could be wrong, and I'd love to point out or have someone point them out in the comments if there's anything that I'm missing in terms of these locations, but we can obviously probably assume that they're probably brand new locations that we have not seen before. Now, if we know anything about how Verdansk was put together, they obviously mixed in a lot of previously already existing, maps like Scrapyard and Vacant and all that was integrated into the map, and I would assume they're probably going to be doing the exact same thing with this new map in terms of different Treyarch maps that have existed over the Black Ops Cold War and World at War universe, so I would be shocked if there's not multiplayer maps intermixed into this new Warzone map. Now, this all ties back into the leaks that we got from Black Ops Cold War back in June of 2020, before Black Ops Cold War was ever even announced. The exclusive ace had this to say about a essentially huge drop of Black Ops Cold War and Warzone information. He states, "No ground war 32v32 map currently is in the game, but there is a mode which takes place on sections of the new Warzone map. This could end up being ground war, as that's basically what Infinity Ward did with Modern Warfare." Now, this reference is referring to the new Fireteam map, so that leak is spot on in terms of the information about this new Warzone map. And then let's move down to the second point. The new Warzone map is set in Russia. Named locations include mines, chemical lab, weather station, ski slopes, Duga, zoo, and battery. As said previously, there's a big lake in the middle. A bit to the bottom left, bottom right is a snowy with mountains, and there's a ski slopes and weather station there. Just north of that is the chemical lab with a swampy area, and north of the mines, west of that is Duga, which appears to be based on the radio array at Chernobyl, which is what that Duga refers to. Battery is on the midwest of the map, with a small city in the middle of the map. The zoo is just south of the city. Guess is that map is a bit smaller than Modern Warfare's Warzone map, although more open. So essentially all of those leaks are spot on with all the information that we have so far. A lot of these maps exist in Fireteam, and they match perfectly in terms of what is being described back in June of 2020, before we knew anything about what is happening in today's setting. So, with that being said, I'm really confident in how this is all playing out, and I think this is exactly how it's going to be playing out. One last piece of this, and kind of the cherry on top, is a little bug that people are seeing when they look at the game stats or your previous games history in the companion app. It shows the Sanatorium map as WZ_Sanatorium. Now, that's interesting for those who know this kind of game file and what the game files look like. All multiplayer maps are listed as MP_the name, so like MP_satellite, for example. And those areas that are listed as WZ_whatever, WZ_Sanatorium for this instance or this example, are places that exist on Warzone maps. The same happened in Modern Warfare, so it was WZ_airport, that type of stuff is perfectly replicating what is happening here with these maps. So think of that how you want to. Take that with a grain of salt, because obviously things could change in terms of what is happening with this new Warzone map, but I'll leave it on that note. What do you guys think? Do you think this is going to be the new Warzone map? Does what I'm saying actually make sense? And if you actually play these new Fireteam maps, if you have, they look like a Warzone map. I think they look exactly how like a Warzone map should, and play exactly how like a Warzone map should. I'll leave it at that. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And then lastly, before I let you go, be sure to make sure you drop a like on this video, and also you hit that subscribe button. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.